if your watch time drops after 30 seconds, it's not your hook that's broken, it's your structure. In this video, I will break down the 4-part video storytelling structure that I teach creators and business owners that builds trust, retains attention, and drives action. This structure is not about going viral. It's about building a brand that people want to binge. And according to YouTube, the fastest way to grow is to get viewers to binge. So let's do that. Hi, I'm Daryn. I'm a Writers Guild award-winning creator and producer who got her start right here on YouTube. And now I want to help creators go from feeling stuck and scattered to a strategic storyteller. And why does that matter? YouTube has become the #1 TV streaming platform, and viewing behavior has changed. Add in the changes to the way people search due to the rapid development of AI and chatbots, and viewers need to feel a connection and get value very, very, very quickly, which is why I came up with my video storytelling formula. It is 4 parts: hook, heart, help, hero. Super cute, all H's. Also known as the 4H formula, also adorable. So let's break it down. The first part is your hook, which has been talked about endlessly on YouTube and also on other social platforms. My Instagram feed is half videos of dogs, because why not? They're adorable, they make me happy, and half videos of creators talking about hooks. That's my whole Instagram. I don't know if I want to change it, but that's what it is. I'm going to break it down quickly, but I did have a revelation since the first time that I made a video about the hook, heart, help, hero formula, that I actually think what we're trying to do as creators is actually create a double hook. So easy. That's why YouTube is just like so simple. Your first hook is actually your thumbnail and your title. And your second hook is the first 30 seconds of your video at most. First 30 seconds of your video are incredibly important. YouTube tells us that it's incredibly important because if you go into your analytics, your YouTube Studio analytics, and you go into the engagement section, it literally tells you the percentage of people that are still watching after 30 seconds. That's like an incredibly important metric. That is YouTube telling you that the first 30 seconds of your video is incredibly important, which is why you need to lead with the problem, the stakes, and the urgency. For instance, Law and Order. Law and Order starts with the problem. It throws you right into the problem. It doesn't start with Olivia Benson, coming into work with her coffee, and us figuring out why she's qualified and who she is and what she's up to. No. Because you want to hook them. So they hook you with the problem. And then we meet Olivia Benson, right? That's what you want to do. You don't want to start your video with who you are and what you're up to and why people should subscribe and all that stuff. You need to start with the problem. What is the problem? Those are the first words that should come out of your mouth. What is the problem? What are the stakes? And what is the urgency? Then we move on to the heart section. And this is where you build trust and relatability. This is a brief personal moment. It is where you start to establish a connection with your viewer. And this is by either sharing a little bit of your backstory, your qualifications, your mission. In the Law and Order example, this is where Olivia Benson shows up to work, right? This is where you come in. Hi, I'm Daryn, and this is who I am and what I do, right? And why you want to trust me with this problem. But you want to do it quickly because you need to get into the actual meat of the video where you're helping them. So you don't want to spend a lot of time. You don't want to do like a 3-part essay on who you are. You just want to be able to distill this down to maybe 2 to 3 sentences. You can watch what I do in my videos is I have a very specific thing that I've been saying lately. I say, hi, I'm Daryn. I'm a Writers Guild award-winning creator and producer. And the reason I say that part is because saying that I'm a Writers Guild award winner, which is a little bit annoying, but it does give you a pretty clear picture on why I'm qualified to be talking to you about storytelling, right? Instead of me having to drill down on like a bunch of my credits and experience, right? I could just say that and get that across pretty quickly. So I say I'm a Writers Guild Award-winning creator and producer who got her start here on YouTube. Okay, so now you understand how it relates to you, right? She's not just an award-winning creator and producer. She actually started on YouTube. Got it. I understand, right? She actually did what I'm trying to do. Then I say, and now I want to help creators like you go from feeling stuck and scattered to a strategic storyteller. So I'm telling you very clearly what is the transformation that I'm trying to help you with. And I set up before that why I feel like I'm qualified to help you do that. The thing you still don't do is ask them to like and subscribe because you haven't helped them yet. They're not going to help you if you haven't helped them. So this is where we get to the next section, and this is the help section. If the viewer has reached this point in the video, they've connected to the problem and the stakes in your video. They've connected to you because you introduced yourself and they connected to that, whatever personal moment or story you shared, and now they want help. This is going to be the bulk of your video, the meat of your video. This is where you're providing your actionable advice or your personal story that is eventually going to lead to actionable advice. The key here is to use this help section to make your viewer the hero. You're trying to give them a transformation. Either you're giving them a transformation because you're sharing a personal story, or you've got 5 tips or 6 tips or whatever you're sharing that's going to help them solve a specific problem in their life. Because YouTube is actually a 2-person scene. And this is where you're having the conversation with the other person in your scene, your viewer, just like I'm having a conversation with you right now. This section is really where storytelling comes into play. And if you need some help with your storytelling, I have a whole bunch of resources for that. First of all, on this channel is chock full of videos on storytelling. So go ahead and binge. There's a ton of them. There's a whole series called Start Your Story that you could check out, but there's plenty of playlists that you can dive into. You can also join my free community on the school platform called the Storytelling Room. I will put the link in my description. And lastly, you can also get one-on-one coaching with me. So I will also put the link in my description for that. The last section is the hero section. This is the end of their video. They made it all the way there. So this is the time to activate them. This is all about making your viewer the hero. Because as I said, YouTube is a 2-person scene, and you are a leading character, but your viewer is actually the protagonist. Now hear me out. Your viewer had a problem. They sought out a solution. They came to YouTube and they found you. So you are the guide. You're an important character. You're a leading character, but your viewer is the hero. So this is where you make them feel like the hero, that they are on a hero's journey, and you lead them to the next step in that hero's journey. Whether the next step is another video that they can watch, or it's a community that they can join, or a course that you're teaching, or a product that's going to help them, this is the time that you do that. This is where you've shifted from a random person that popped up in their feed to a recurring character in their life. This is where they start to binge your content. If this framework helped, I have a whole video series on the foundations of episodic storytelling and how you can use them to build a brand that people want to binge. So I would check out this video, and in the meantime, keep creating and keep thinking like a showrunner.